We are now live on YouTube.
Siva, do we have a quorum?
We do.
Excellent. Okay. I will call us to order. Welcome to the Board of Directors meeting at Natomas Charter School for our second June meeting, June 22nd, 2021. Calls to order at 4 o'clock. Roll call, please. Karen Harding Davis.
I don't see her on just yet.
Okay. Sean King. Gina Lee.
Sean King is on the call. He may just be muted.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. Dr. Mejorado.
Present.
Great. Preeti.
I'm here.
Hi, Preeti. Jennifer Morgan.
Hi.
I'm here. Ashante.
I'm here.
Okay, great. All right. Hearing of the public for items not on the agenda.
There were no public comments submitted via the form.
Okay, quickly, I inadvertently neglected to mention Mr. Core. John, are you on?
He actually just sent me an email just moments ago that he will not be in attendance.
Okay, thank you. All right, no items, no hearing of the public for items not on the agenda. Hearing of the public for items on the agenda.
Also, no comments received via the form.
Okay. Anybody's recommendations for the agenda tonight, or are we set to approve that? Okay, may I have a motion to approve the agenda for this evening?
I move that we approve the agenda.
Okay. May I have a second?
I'll second, Jennifer.
Okay, thank you, Ashante. Roll call vote, Ashante.
Yes.
Jennifer, I'm a yes. Preeti.
Yes.
Dr. Mejorado.
Yes.
Okay, great. Gina.
I'm here. Sorry. It's Karen. Oh, I'm sorry.
Hold on.
Just for me. Sorry.
Okay, Gina, is that a yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Sean King.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you, Sean. And Karen, we're approving. Okay. I'm glad you're here.
Thank
You
you.
wanna approve the agenda?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, thank you very much. And we have action items for today. First one is to approve the LCAP. Dr. Wood.
Yes, so our first action item of the evening is to approve our 21-24 Local Control and Accountability Plan, also known as our LCAP. This is the same document that the board reviewed at last week's public hearing for our LCAP. And it basically has three main sections. It has a budget overview for parents, along with an annual update reflecting our accomplishments in the 1920 school year, along with the 2021 school year. And then a new LCAP for 2021 to 2024. And this LCAP is closely aligned to our WASC plan for the next 6 years as well. So the administration's recommendation is to approve the 21-24 Local Control and Accountability Plan.
Okay. Any questions from the board? Okay, we will request a motion to approve the 2021-24 Local Control and Accountability Plan. May I have a motion?
I'll move.
Ashante, thank you. May I have a second?
I'll second. This is Preeti.
Okay, Preeti, and then a roll call vote. Karen,
Yes.
Sean,
Yes.
Gina,
Yes.
Maria,
Yes.
Preeti,
Yes.
Jennifer, I'm a yes. Ashante,
Yes.
okay. Moving along, the budget from Anita.
Hey, good evening. I'm going to share my screen right now, so you can bring it up. And does everybody see this?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
wonderful. Okay. All right. So exciting news about the 21-22 adopted budget here that we have. Basically, we're going to go over all the major assumptions, financial highlights, a snapshot of the adopted budget with our multi-year projection, talk about cash flows, reserves, our financial position, the board action, and our next steps that we'd like you to take. So what a difference a year makes and stuff. So I love these roller coaster analogies and stuff, but it was only a year ago that the 2021 proposal, we were facing a downhill cliff. And then it kind of leveled out with flat funding that we had. And then the next thing you know, we were bracing ourselves, and the 21-22 budget proposal comes back, kind of stands us on our head, basically, because now we have a surplus of money on here. What the future holds, I am not sure, but I hope that we are on the continue on the uphill track of that and not this crazy up and down on there. So the budget does look really good. Some of the major assumptions that we have here is that for 21-22, we are getting a cost of living adjustment of 1.7%. They are also including a deferred COLA for the year 2021 of a 2.3%. And not only that, they're giving an additional base increase to the LCFF base of plus or minus about 1%. For a total funded COLA of 7.07%, which they're referring to as the super COLA. Even for the out years, you'll see that the COLAs for projected a 2.48 and then a 3.11 in the year 23-24. And so those are all really considered very good COLAs for the year. Usually anything over 2% is very good for K-12 education. So listed on the graph here, we have the revised LCFF grade span amounts, as well as the K-3 adjustment for class size and the career tech education adjustment for high school. They are applying the 20% for supplemental grants. All of this, the COLA is applied to. And as a reminder, Natomas Charter School does not get any concentration grant fundings. So for our projected ADA that we are using for the adopted budget, it is 1,916. And for this adopted budget for the out years, excuse me, on the heading, it should be 21-22 and 22-23, 23-24 on there. But you'll see that the out years, we are projecting a flat increase or no growth detected, but the growth or increase in ADA over 2021 to 21-22 is 105. And we'll go over that in more detail. The average LCFF funding per ADA is projected to be 9,383. That is an increase over the prior year of 458. And you'll see that the two out years, those amounts are out there, and we'll talk about that more at the when we get to the multi-year projection. For the STRS rate increases, it is going up 0.77%, so we'll be at 16.92% for all CalSTRS members, and an increase of 2.21% for CalPERS members. So basically almost 23 cents on the dollar for that. Unduplicated pupil counts, we are projecting a rolling average, a 3-year rolling average of 27.43. So you may note that in 2021, we hit 30% for that one particular year. We had over 500 unduplicated count students. That was a record high for us. And that partly was because the state had a waiver for free and reduced lunches where you could carry on your certification for free and reduced through October 8th of this year's CBED. So it really had increased those numbers at the time. To be conservative, we are going with the average that we normally have, which drops down to just below 500. So that's why you'll see for the out years, our 3-year rolling average goes down a little bit on that piece. We are projecting 97 students overall, and at a 96% attendance ratio. That's where we get the 1,916. We are projecting growth for our homeschool PACT Academy program, as well as our Virtual Learning Academy, VLA, and also PFAA for some master schedule changes that we're going through. If you remember last year, all schools were capped at their 2019-20 P2 ADA, and we applied for SB 820 growth funding because we had included just a little bit of growth when we adopted last year's budget. We were approved for that, so we got to recognize some of that. So we were funded currently this year on 18-15, but our ADA for 2021 is much higher than that. So that's why it looks like it is such a huge increase, because the state had capped the school's ADA for this current year. For financial highlights, this I'm kind of excited to go over with you. Sometimes in a normal year, we may only have one slide for financial highlights, but this year we have a lot to be proud of on here. So we have the 5.07 Super COLA applied to the LCFF base funds, increased enrollment, as I mentioned, for PFAA, PACT, and VLA. We're funding step and level increases for salary schedules. And tonight we are projecting some salary increases that we're going to be asking you to approve. We've also planned for the increases for CalSTRS as well as CalPERS pension funds. For our in-house special ed program, highlights here I put down, we're estimating $1.3 million in revenues and estimated expenditures of $3.1 million. So our contribution to the program for 21-22 is projected to be at $1.8 million. So this is anticipated increase of $684,238, and these are ongoing expenses, mainly in the area of salaries for positions to address student needs for IEPs. On the non-instructional and instructional side for position control, we have approximately 24.6 FTEs added to the budget. Approximately 11 of those are one-time positions for our grant funds. We also increased a half an hour per day and 5 additional work days for our SPED paraprofessionals, and we increased counselor support time. We've also included additional supplies and services for are funded or basically out of the in-person instruction grant and the expanded learning opportunities grant. So these are one-time funds that we have. We're also planning for computers for the new staff, replacing desktop computers, replacement of laptops, iPad replacements, Chromebook replacements, and computer lab replacements. Also included is wireless hardware upgrades for the Black Rock and Gloucester campuses. We are continuing with the California Chinese classroom program. We removed all prior year one-time revenues that we had from other grants from 2021. We've adjusted for additional property taxes and utilities for Advantage Way. This is our second year in, so we're still trying to develop a historical pattern of usage. We've increased capital outlay for some facility planning. We are still currently debt-free at this time. Also on this slide, what Joe had just gone over, the LCAP, which you have adopted, but I wanted to highlight a lot of what is in the LCAP. And because the LCAP basically, the budget, I should say, is a monetary reflection of that LCAP. So we have intervention support plan, credit recovery options, social emotional support, English learner support, dual enrollment options, MTSS and a PLC collaboration time, staff professional development, one-to-one student technology access, and instructional staff supply reimbursements. So here is the bird's eye view of oversight of our adopted budget here compared to our estimated actuals. So on the estimated actuals, we're projecting 20.8 million in revenues and total budgeted expenditures of 19.8 million. So our projected surplus for this year is over $1 million. At second interim, we were close to a surplus of only 500,000. And as we were building the budget, we were able to capture a lot of one-time savings. And then we also started getting some money for the IEP and the ELO grants as well. So we're projecting that 2021 is going to end with 11.5 million. And we do continue to underspend as we close the book. So we can anticipate that that may be slightly higher. For the adopted budget, 21-22, we're projecting 22.2 in revenues as well as 22.1 in total expenditures for a surplus of 164,000. With a projected fund balance of 11.6 million. So in your packet, I believe Zeba had sent you out a revised packet. I wanted to let you know on page 11, you will see all the details starting for this snapshot of the budget numbers on here. What changed in the adopted budget was on page 3, the little table of assumptions. I did not finish updating the COLA section on there. So I updated that. That's all reflected in the slide presentation today. And then on page 11, the financial summary, under the variance column for the 4,000s through 6,000s, those formulas were pulling from the second interim. So once I updated that, it kind of changed those numbers, which changed the footnote of number 3 and 5 on page 11 on there. But basically, we have an improvement of over 872,000 when compared to when you compare it to the estimated actuals budget. So we are actually spending more, I should say, 872,000 compared to the estimated actuals from the prior year. This is a snapshot of our revenues. And just to point out, again, we rely on state attendance money. Over 93% of our funds are coming from state attendance, and 7% is in other areas. For expenditures right here, I changed this slide up just a little bit to include a category that Lisa Kaplan, board member from Natomas Unified, had wanted us to have a little slice out there for admin salaries and benefits. Our salary and benefits totals for the projected budget is approximately 82%. So we've broken that 80% barrier. We've always been around 78% or so on. Expenditures by function here, I really love this slide because about 75% it really shows is going to the instructional program or student instruction related and pupil services. And so that is something that other schools have difficulty managing to make sure that they have at least, if they're in elementary school, 55% going into instruction, or 60% if it's a high school. And so we are at like 75%. So that's really a great news. For the multi-year projection, here's a snapshot for the 2 years. We are seeing that for 22-23 revenues are going down because the grant funds will be removed. One-time expenditures will be removed as well. But we still are projecting a surplus of revenues exceeding expenditures. For 22-23, a projected fund balance of 11.8 and 23-24 of 11.9 million. So for those assumptions, the average local control funding formula per ADA for 22-23 is projected to be 9703, and then the 23-24 year 9971. We are projecting the same enrollment, so flat funding for enrollment in ADA projections in the out years. And then you can see our unduplicated 3-year rolling average of 26.64% and 24.84%. We've removed all the one-time revenues and expenditures from 21-22 in these out years. We're funding step and level cost increases. We've also planned for inflation based on the consumer price index on there, as well as the pension increases for CalPERS and CalSTRS. And looking at the cash flow, we're estimated to beginning next year's July cash opening balance of 9.6 million. The average monthly that we're projecting is 9.8 million. And then we're projecting to close in June of 2022 with 9.9 million. In the out years for 22-23, the average cash balance per month would be about 10.7 million, and ending in June of 2023 of 10.4 million. And then the last year out, 23-24.
No, grabbing the books. I just remembered that there was a.
Hi, sorry, someone muted. Okay, and 23-24, an average cash balance over each month of approximately 10.5 million, closing out in June of 2024 of 9.8 million. So our reserves, if you remember, the board had passed our fiscal reserve requirements, and we are meeting our board policy for all 3 years. We have a 10% reserve of economic uncertainties based on total expenditures. When you look at the pie chart there of the total fund balance, economic uncertainties is a 19% of the total pie. And then undistributed, unallocated that we have there is only about 4%. It's about 488,000. And then the rest is earmarked for additional cash reserves, such as cash operating reserves, reserve for pensions, salaries, facilities, whatnot, which is itemized at the bottom of your page 11 in your budget. So the bottom line is we're continuing to be financially sound for the current +2 fiscal years. We're projecting ending fund balance for next year of 11.7 million, which is about 60% of our total expenditures. 22-23, we're projecting a fund balance of 11.8 million, which is about 55% of our total expenditures. And then 23-24, a fund balance of 11.9 million, which is projected to be roughly 54% of our total expenditures. We'll also have positive cash balances for all 3 years that are outlined there. So in the school district world and for our district authorizer, this would be considered a positive certification. So tonight, we are bringing to you the adopted budget. We ask that you approve that. This also includes the Education Protection Act account, which is over $3.9 million assigned to salaries, instructional salaries. And it also reflects our strategic goals as part of our local control accountability plan. And as I said, that this budget basically is a monetary reflection of that LCAP, which you've already approved tonight. The next steps is we're going to continue to monitor the budget process. We will be revising assumptions if necessary. And after the state budget is adopted, and we know the details, we may need to do some revisions over the summer based on compromises between the governor and the legislature. And then also keeping an eye on inflation. And then we will be closing the books and bringing to you our unaudited actuals by September 15th. And I did peek on the state's website, and they still do not have anything posted for the state's approved budget. So they're still going through all of their negotiations for the trailer bills as well. So we should be hearing something soon for that. And I'll open it up for questions.
Hi, Anita. This is Maria.
Hi, Maria.
Thank you for that. It's very impressive in terms of your work and those graphs that you show us in terms of the strength of the financial situation for Natomas Charter. I have one little question that I wondered. For the dual enrollment program, do our students pay? But it looks like NCS pays for the dual enrollment classes at the community college. So
yes, there's no charge.
Okay, very good.
No charge to students on that.
Yes, thanks. That's what I thought. Thank you.
But as you can see, we do have a lot going on that, you know, a lot of great services planned for the students and stuff, especially with this 3-year LCAP that you all just adopted.
Thank you,
Anita. Quick question, Anita. Can you confirm, you mentioned you're bringing to the board later tonight recommendations for salary increases. Those are incorporated in these budgets, right?
Yes, they are. They are.
Thank you.
Yes. And then also to our, as we mentioned on the June 14th board meeting, when we brought the original salary schedules to you to reflect new adopt positions in the budget and stuff. What we wanted to really firm up numbers and really make sure that we could afford what we give today, we can afford 3 years out. No.
Perfect. Any other questions on the budget for Anita? Okay, may I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
That was Karen. Thank you. May I have a second?
I'll second.
Second.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, Gina. We'll do a roll call vote. Karen,
Yes.
Sean,
Yes.
Gina,
Yes.
Dr. Mejorado,
Yes.
Preeti,
Yes.
Jennifer, I'm a yes. Ashante.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Moving on. Anita, don't go anywhere. Salary
I know.
schedule.
All right. So this, now that you've approved the budget, we asked to for you to approve some revised salary schedules here. And so, and this is an ongoing effort to attract and retain quality staff that we have, part of our strategic goals in our LCAP. So in a nutshell, all the salary schedules are basically, we're bringing a 2% increase across the salary schedule, with the exception of the instructional salary schedule. The instructional salary schedule basically covers teachers, counselors, that nature, and it's revised to be more competitive with the surrounding schools and their instructional salary schedules. But overall, the minimum increase for the instructional salary schedule is a 2.6 increase. And this is on top of, what we had mentioned, everybody will be getting their step and level increases if that applies to them on their salary schedule.
Okay, great. Any questions? Okay, may I have a motion to approve the 2021-22 salary schedules?
I so move. This is Maria.
Thanks, Maria. May I have a second?
Second. Sean.
Thank you, Sean.
Mhm.
Roll call vote. Karen,
Yes.
Sean,
Yes.
Gina,
Yes.
Maria,
Yes.
Preeti.
Yes.
Yes from me, Jennifer. Ashante.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Moving on. Let's see. Approve resolution 06.22.2021.01 certification of signatures.
Yes. Okay. So this is one of your annual requirements on here. Basically, this is to show who is responsible for what, as far as authorization to sign on behalf of Natomas Charter School, and to have our official signatures on file. So all board members, Ziba will be contacting you, all board members to sign, and administrators who are listed on here to sign for that. And for most part, we have, I'm kind of Joe's backup. Joe pretty much signs everything that we have here and stuff, but Dr. Ellis and Ms. Burial are also listed on there when we need 2 signatures required for checks.
Okay. And I do have it on good authority that Ziba has already started tracking people down. So
She's awesome.
We need to get that wrapped by end of day tomorrow, everybody. I am talking to myself as much as I'm talking to all of you. So please connect with Ziba on that. Let's see. So I guess we have to approve this resolution. Is that correct, Ziba? Okay. May I have a motion to approve resolution 06.22.2021.01 certification of signatures?
So moved. Sashante.
Thanks, Ashante. May I have a second?
I second. This is Preeti.
Thanks, Preeti. Ashante and Preeti on that one. Roll call vote. Ashante.
Yes.
Jennifer, I'm a yes. Preeti.
Yes.
Maria.
Yes.
Gina.
Yes.
Sean King.
Yes.
And Karen.
Yes.
Excellent. Okay. All right, Anita, give us one more. The authorized signers for Sacramento County Office of Education.
Yes. Okay, so this is again another annual duty of ours to let the county office know that the board is approving for the Dr. Ellis, Dr. Wood, and Miss Burial and I to be district approvers on behalf of Natomas Charter School.
Okay, may I have a motion to approve the authorized signers for SCOE?
So moved. This is Gina.
Thanks, Gina. May I have a second?
I'll second.
I heard Ashante.
Fine.
You guys can talk about it after the meeting. Work it out. Okay, roll call vote, please, Karen,
Yes.
Dawn,
yes,
Gina,
Yes.
Maria,
Yes.
Preeti,
Yes.
Jennifer, I'm a yes. Ashante?
Yes.
Okay. Excellent, thank you. All right, and now this one's me. I get to present our Executive Director Employment Agreement. The Natomas Charter School Board of Directors is excited to renew Dr. Wood's contract 1 year early to reflect our commitment to his leadership. During his 2 years as Executive Director, he's demonstrated strong stewardship of our school through some of our most challenging times, and I know that we will all agree with that wholeheartedly. The positive impact, yes, the positive impact of his leadership was noted through feedback provided by teachers and staff during the evaluation process in 2020 and earlier this year. The contract being approved tonight takes effect from July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2024. In terms of compensation, the board is required by law to publicly announce compensation outlined in the employment agreement. At the May 10th board meeting, the board of directors received and reviewed a compensation study reflecting all certificated teaching and administrative positions, including executive director. The compensation being offered by the board of directors aligns with competitive compensation provided for equivalent superintendent and executive director positions in surrounding school districts and charter schools. Starting with this contract, Dr. Wood's salary will be $170,000 per year, with a 5% step included in the next 2 following years. He'll be provided 12 days of sick leave, health and welfare benefits identical to all full-time employees, and retirement benefits identical to all full-time certificated administrative employees. May I have a motion to approve Dr. Wood's Executive Director Employment Agreement for 2021 through 2024?
I so move. This is Maria.
Thank you, Maria. May I have a second?
I second. This is Gina.
Thank you, Gina. We will do a roll call vote. Karen Harding Davis. Karen. Okay, I'll swing back for Karen. Ashante.
Yes.
Jennifer, I'm a yes. Preeti.
Definitely. Yes.
Thank you, Preeti. Dr. Mejarado.
Yes.
Gina.
Yes.
Sean King.
yes,
Is Karen Harding Davis back?
I
Okay,
do see her on the call.
Karen, are you muted? Can you hear us?
I'm sorry. I just had a little technical glitch.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Do you vote to approve Dr. Wood's contract for 2021 through 2024?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Okay. Oops. All right, so our next item on the agenda, approve the second reading and adoption of Board Policy 5132, our dress code policy. Dr. Ellis.
Am I unmuted now?
Now you are.
Okay. The staff is recommending approval of the dress code. There were some changes, as I spoke in the last board meeting, where we did remove language that spoke to disruptions. And we added in clarification at the section regarding where shirts would sit at the waist versus having any type of discrepancy. And then at the end of the dress code, if you read that section, it does take away any language about to teacher or admin discretion and have clarification regarding what the steps are if someone is not following the dress expectations. And the last thing is that we did change the name from dress code to, I believe it's dress expectations. If we look at the top of it, please, Ziva. Oh, it still says dress code, just kidding.
We will make that edit before we post it to the website and put it to our policies.
Yes, so it should say dress expectations and not dress code, because our goal was to remove any type of language that indicated relationship with the criminal justice or juvenile justice system. And so that's why it says dress expectations. Are there any questions for me?
Now, one question, dress expectations, strong enough word for this type of policy? It is? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you. Any other questions? All right. With that, I will request a motion to approve the dress expectations policy 5132.
So moved.
Thank you, Karen. May I have a second?
I second. This is Preeti.
Thanks, Preeti. Roll call vote. I'm going to go to Ashanti first because she was trying to second that one and Preeti got in there.
Yes.
Thank you, Ashanti. Jennifer, I'm a yes. Preeti.
Yes.
Maria.
Yes.
Gina.
Yes.
Sean.
yes,
Karen.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Moving right along at a very efficient clip. Let's move to executive director comments.
Good evening. So first, I have no COVID updates for you. That's
What?
yay. That's because we're actually still awaiting the mid-June CDC and CDPH guidelines. So at this point, as a school community, we're still operating under last year's guidelines. We are officially on summer break now. So we have summer school at the elementary campuses at Star Academy going through July 1st. And then we have summer school here on the high school campus going until July 8th. We're also finalizing all of our hiring. And we're looking forward to seeing staff return around July 27th. That's when people start returning, with teachers returning on August 5th. And then our next board meeting, next time we'll all be together, is on August 9th. So make sure you have that on your calendar. And kids return to school on August 11th. We have a little countdown going out up front. I think we've got like 48 days left until kids come back. So we're excited to see them. And just, to close out, I just, on behalf of our entire community, just want to thank the board for their leadership this year. To say this was a dynamic year might be like the biggest understatement of the century. But throughout it all, as a board, you guys have been there and we really appreciate it, especially being flexible with board meetings and being virtual and being in person and all of those types of things. So thank you. And I hope each of you have a great summer.
Thank you, Dr. Wood. Board of Director comments? Okay, I'll go ahead and make one, and that is to thank our full group of students, staff, administration, teachers, parents, board members, everybody, community members for holding tight this year and holding on for the wild ride. Everybody should be commended for our success in getting through that. And I know that everybody had a very significant contribution. So thank you, congratulations. Enjoy your summer break and come back. July 27th just seems so soon, but I know you'll all be excited to get back and try to return to some elements of normalcy. And I hope all the kids are excited to come back August 11th. So thank you all. Anybody else? All right, I think we can move on to future board agenda items. Okay, if nobody objects, I will adjourn the meeting. Actually, before I adjourn, please ensure that you get your signatures completed with Ziba by end of day tomorrow. Hint, hint, she wants to go on vacation.
Thank you, Miss Morgan.
You're welcome. Thank you. Okay, I will adjourn the meeting at 4:39. Thanks, everybody, and we'll see you in a few weeks.
All
Thank
right,
you.
take care.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.